welcome to From the Newsroom. I'm your host, Kora Siebert. From the Newsroom is a weekly news update brought to you by the Southeast Arrow. This week's top story features information on room and board prices once again changing. Towers East is shrinking while prices are growing. Here's reporter Zach Huffman with more on the story.
Towers East, currently the lowest price housing option on campus, will be increasing by nearly $2,000 next semester.
The dorms will be single occupancy, but will have communal bathrooms. The price increase is due to the larger space per student and the decline in students choosing to live on campus. While the average single-bedroom apartment in Cape Girardeau is cheaper than Towers East, there are benefits to living on campus, according to the Director of Residence Life, Kendra Skinner.
As an institution, we can't compete with what the rates are for students living off campus in apartments, but there are things that you get by living on campus that you don't get living off campus. We have staff that are here in our buildings 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have access to facilities management overnight. We do a lot of things that are connected to academics, programming, community development, and then there's the convenience of living on campus.
The new price per year is $7,850, which is the equivalent of paying $872 in rent per month.
While room and board is on the decline, SEMO career opportunities are in full swing. This week's 60 Seconds features a SEMO graduate student and veteran. Here is reporter Ben Schicker with more on the story.
What is your favorite part about the job?
I just love helping student veterans transition into college. I love helping dependents of veterans use their parents' education benefits, and I just love being part of this community.
And what originally got you into this role?
During my undergrad, I worked in an office at a different institution similar to this one, and I moved to SEMO for grad school, walked into the office, and luckily a graduate assistant vacancy was open, and jumped at the opportunity.
And do you hope this leads somewhere specific, or do you just love this job so much that you wanted to stay here? Or?
Actually, I graduate in May from my master's program, and I will be doing this work full-time up at a different institution up in St. Charles County.
Last thing, do you have any other hobbies, any side hobbies, you play sports?
I'm an avid record collector. I love traveling, and I love just spending time outside and just exploring new places.
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Nick.
Many careers require critical thinking, but each individual has their own way of doing that. People have different ways of thinking, which can lead to seeing different things when they hear certain words. Here is reporter Zach Huffman with more on the story.
What we see when we close our eyes is different from person to person. Take this apple, for example. You may see full detail, a stem, a table, or maybe just an outline with no color, or maybe nothing at all.
A simplified version of a questionnaire used to study aphantasia has spread across social media. According to the National Institute of Health, attention to aphantasia is relatively new, and many of the studies have had conflicting results. While research is ongoing, there is no correlation between cognitive ability and aphantasia.
It doesn't look like it's drawn perfectly. It's very shiny, but very weird looking apple. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. And then I saw I saw two different apples. One that was like blue colored and it had a weird like bottom to it. And then I saw one of those other like apples that are like just a regular apple, perfectly red, that you would just see in a cartoon.
I don't see anything. I can't imagine things like that. When people ask me to imagine things, I freeze up and I don't see anything like that. It's hard for me, but I absolutely have to sit there and like generally think about it. Like I actually have to sit there and kind of like draw it in my mind in the first of all, and then sometimes it's not even possible. I can only see the word. I can't see like the actual image.
What do you see when you close your eyes? Back to you, Kora.
This week's paper features numerous stories from ecological disasters to Gen Z voters and campus organizations. Here is reporter Ben Schicker with all of that and more in this week's paper rundown.
I'm Ben, and here's the paper rundown for the week of April 15th by the Southeast Arrow. Students find community in the SEMO Math Club. Members of the Math Club at SEMO strive to create an inclusive and welcoming environment for all who want to come and join. Next story, as we all know, there's a big election coming up this year, and for young voters in elections, is Gen Z turning in their ballot? According to a statistic, only 50% of Cape Girardeau voters voted in 2022. Will it raise this year? We'll see. SEMO student brand Slept On and Stay Woke opened eyes to new fashion as they came together to form a fashion show at the University Center. Last and not least, ecological disaster takes shape in the form of a flowering tree. Although the Bradford pear trees are now out of bloom, when they are fully blossomed, they resemble many other flowering trees. And that's all for this week's paper. To pick up your copy, go on campus or surrounding areas. Back to you, Cora.
That's all for today. Join us next week for a new installment of From the Newsroom. I'm your host, Kora Siebert, and until next time, take it easy, Cape Girardeau.